It don't matter where you are in your life. You don't have to do it by yourself. It don't matter what you need. Colin can help.
The brother of our alpha is right here. Is this guy right here.
With the white eyes? Oh, beautiful eyes.
That's
I know the volume decibels on my microphone work great.
This guy's the clown. This is Quinn. He's the boss. Yarrick is Quinn's brother.
They got the same eyes.
These two guys run the joint. They keep control. Nobody questions them. They all follow. He's also a lead dog. Quinn is also a lead dog. Alphas are not necessarily a lead.
I did not know that.
But he is a alpha and a lead.
I think I've heard that, how sometimes the alpha kind of just goes to like the back of the pack
Yes.
just to make sure that everybody else is kind of like together.
Doing their thing.
Well, a good alpha knows who can do it better.
Okay.
And a lot of them will run wheel because they know that this guy, who's a good lead but not an alpha, can do a really good job, and they let him. They let him do it.
I love how
You can't train your dogs in some really cool areas. There's old railroad beds,
cool, yeah.
rail and trail. The whole country has rail and trails.
Yeah.
You can't train your dogs there with an ATV. No motorized vehicles allowed. They will allow a dog cart on wherever they will allow your dog team.
Right.
They will allow the dog cart. So that's meant to take the place of the ATV. It's lighter. It's about a third of the price, at least, and they work really well. The cool thing about this design, there's two cool things. This design has, I don't know if I invented it or not, but it's got dog steer. It's got a steering wheel, but you don't have to use it. The dogs will actually steer that
But
car.
you could steer it if you needed to.
You can overcome dog steer.
That's cool.
You see the linkage up front?
Yeah.
There. So it's not on there yet. There's a loop that goes right here, but your line for the dogs, your gang line, is going to be tied to a loop right here. There's a shock absorber, so the dogs don't get shocked if something happens.
Right.
It'll stretch and come back. But as the dogs run around the trail, this steers. This steers the wheels. You can lean back. Now I proved this because I built a cart without a steering wheel, just to prove it, and I ran that for 2 seasons. So the dogs it's like a sled. You don't have a steering wheel on a sled, a snow sled.
So you stand in the back by the one wheel.
Right.
Okay.
And the whole theory on this is my equipment background.
Right.
Is there's a triangle of stability theory with equipment. And loaders, articulating equipment like loaders, forklifts and whatnot, there's a triangle of stability, and they try and get you inside that triangle. And you will see that we are we are right inside that triangle. So this thing should be really, really stable. In a lot of dog carts, it's just the opposite way. You got 2 wheels in the back.
Right, that's what I was
saying. You stand on the back, and the steering there's 1 wheel up front.
Okay.
If you remember the old ATV days with the 3-wheelers, they were very dangerous. They tipped over all.
Right.
So when you on a trike, when you turn the wheel, they become unstable in this direction.
Okay.
If you turn it this way, they become unstable in this direction.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of 3-wheelers trikes being built for dog carts, but when they go around corners, you see people lean way over because the cart wants to roll that way. You don't get that. You got your front stabilizers, basically, out front there. And this is just trailing.
That's pretty nifty.
So, and it's fully suspended.
Yeah.
And you can adjust the suspension on it for your weight.
That's nice too.
The other cool thing, so it's got dog steer, but you can overcome it through linkage and leverage and everything. It's easy to overcome. And I like that, so I kept building dog steer carts. The other thing is something this size, it's like a four-wheeler, even though it's much lighter, is how do you get it around?
Right.
It's long, you know, and a lot of people with sled dogs have pickup trucks, but the dogs go in the pickup truck. So do you take a trailer? Do you do whatever? So this folds in half, and it goes on, and I'll show you that in just a second. It will go on, you've seen the carriers on the back of trucks that go in the hitches?
Yes.
This is what we're going to make one for this, and it's going to go on the back, because if you need to transport it, or you need to store it, and you don't want it taking up this much space.
Right, this is as big as like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like you said, yeah.
So it's in your garage. We don't all have 3,000 square feet.
Right.
So
Got two collars in there, is that what it is?
yep, they lock that. It's got its own feet, and it folds up.
That's
And
great.
also talking about storage, like if you wanted to put like a board or something on the front and
Right.
just keep it in the corner of the garage or...
Yep, and then a number of things can go up here. You can put a bag.
Yeah.
There's going to be a,
Like a cover or something.
yeah,
over it.
there's probably expanded metal, aluminum, because it's really light. But what I put on mine is a cooler,
Okay.
and it's not for food. Coolers are waterproof. You can store all your gear
yeah.
right in there, and they're really easy to strap down. But you could put a bag here, you could put an injured dog here. That's what's really important.
Yeah.
Is that if you have a dog twist an
ankle.
or something, cut a pad, you can put them here, and I've had to do that before. There's going to be a seat back here so that you can actually sit down on this thing. So
I can't wait to see it when it's all done. Like,
yeah, it's going to come apart. A lot of it is just tacked right now, and I was going to take it apart yesterday, but I thought you might like to see it.
Absolutely.
Because there's everything
It's
that
so unique.
well, that's
Like-
that's the idea. It's got some good ideas in it. It's unique.
Well, and I like too that it was made by a man that is not only a dog breeder, but a dog enthusiast, dog person, but also a metal fabricator. So like, you have all the
Using
things,
it all.
Yeah, like you are the target user for something like this. So for you to be able to design and over the years try it out, like you said, how you have the different. One year you just tried it without the steering wheel to make sure your mechanism works. Like, it's tried and true, and you got 17 dogs in the back to make an advertisement.
Yep.
And it's all right.
Right, exactly. and of course, this is going to have a plate to stand on.
Okay.
So you don't have to stand on this. Even though on your sled you would be
That's how you
standing.
do stand, yeah.
You'd be standing on the skis, but not on this. It's going to have a plate.
That'll be.
The plate is going to have isolators on it also, so you're not going to have a lot of shock with this thing. It's got a very reactive suspension. A lot of carts out there have bumpers or really short throw coilover shocks. I wanted a very reactive suspension so that you're not getting shock. So the other thing, and I hate to admit it, but I'm not getting any younger, and I want to keep my knees and everything in good shape.
Yeah.
Which is why the suspension and this plate right here is going to have isolators.
Nice.
I want to eliminate as much pounding as I possibly can and stay healthy and run dogs longer.
Right.
So
What made you choose? Again, I've got no sled dog experience. It's just me looking at things. Like, I see tires where everything else that goes on snow, I see like tracks and things like that. Do you lose stability by going with like a rubber tire?
this is for what they call dry land.
Gotcha.
When there's no snow.
Gotcha.
Okay.
When there's snow, we use sleds.
Right. That makes more sense now.
This
So
is
this is like summer training.
yes, but there's another thing to this, and I'm going to put it out there. And nobody steals it. There's going to be skis that go replace these tires, so that 3 skis, they're all going to be the same. You just put them on just by that nut. Take that nut off. Take this whole assembly off. Slide a ski on there. Put that nut back on. And if you want to use it for snow,
You can.
you
That
can.
would be
So
really cool.
one thing does it all. I think that's going to be few and far between because people like that nostalgic sled. And you also wouldn't be racing with it. sleds.
Right.
Because it's not
It's not.
legal.
Right.
So it's like you said, so unique
Right.
that nobody's even thought of that.
And where you're saying that there's not a big market, currently there's not, but I think this is one of those type of things where once somebody sees a guy out having fun, and like you said, you bring in the idea of everything's counterbalanced. So if you're getting older and you want to do it more, this is easy on the knees. You know, like you've thought of the 8 different ways to tie it into a different segment. I think that once people see this, like I've only got 2 dogs, but now I know we got like 4 years to go get us 10 more, so we could use one.
It's a big enough market. It's not.
Absolutely.
I mean, for most people, they don't even know about a training car. It's a big enough market, but it's not so big that that's all I'm going to be building.
Right.
Because that I like to do everything. I don't want to be building one thing. But you know, it's what I'm using. Will be using. This is getting in a couple of weeks. This is getting torture tested. For real, what I do with my carts is I take them across plowed fields and everything, and I already have a very excited friend who has an ATV who's going to drag me through some terrible stuff, and we're going to see if we can break it.
You need to come back and just
So-
get a video of that.
There will be video of that.
I was going to say,
There
but
will be
like make sure
video.
there's all sorts of video of
Yeah,
that.
you need
That's gonna be
video of
sweet.
that.
But
For sure.
this thing is going to get pounded. It's going to get pounded hard, and I'm going to see where the weak link or links are, if there are any, address those, and if there are weak links, pound it all over again,
Yeah.
and then go with it.
That's awesome.
Because the basic design I like.
Yeah.
I like everything about it.
So you can see the other thing that I wanted to tell you.
Did you make all these pieces first? Like, did you make the springs and?
No, the springs are purchased.
Okay.
Springs are purchased, obviously, rims, tires, ends, the rods and everything are made here, but the ball rod, the rod ends here, this is purchased. Bushings are purchased because from one of my major suppliers, because they can make them a hell of a lot cheaper than I can. So there are things, cables, brake cables, there are things that are purchased, but most of it is made here. All your mechanisms, your levers, upper, lower control arms, all that is made here.
So
Everything back there, besides the shock, is made right here.